Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are in our new home, Spare Time. If you did not see our last video, or one of our last videos that took a tour of this awesome facility, go check that video out. But we are here in the Elite Suite, and the topic for today is
steps for a beginning two-handed bowler.
That's right.
We're going to talk about what we believe is most important for those who are beginning their journey into two-handed bowling.
Now keep in mind, what we're going to be going through in this lesson is not the hard and fast rule. There will be people that are going to disagree with some of the things that we show, and that's fine. These are just tips that we have seen that help people as they're first starting two-handed to get going. If you're already a two-hander and you want to try to enhance your skills some of these things might help you out if you're struggling with a few things, so pick and choose what you want out of this. But this is strictly designed for somebody who is new to the game, is new to switching to two-handed, young or old, whatever the case might be, and just some things that can help get you started. You're going to tweak those over time, and that's fine, but these are things that can get you going. So with that said, we're going to start with 4 very specific tips. The first thing that I want to talk about is your setup position. Now, as a one-handed bowler, go ahead and set up as a one-handed bowler. Normal one-handed setup. All right. So Troy's in a very flat position here. His hand is over here on the side of the ball. And then when he gets his swing going, at one point, his wrist is going to cup a little bit. Not a ton, but it's going to cup some. The whole advantage of the two-handed game, the reason why people want to do it, go ahead and take your thumb out, is that, get into a position, is that you can get your fingers farther under the equator so that as you go back, you can actually get farther around and under that ball. That's the reason people want to do two-handed bowling. The problem that I see with a lot of people that start two-handed is they start in a flat position, but their other hand sits on top of the ball, and then what they end up doing is as they swing, their hand does not cup back at all, and they end up scooping or pushing the ball. And when they push the ball, they can get some revolutions on the ball, but you're kind of negating the entire purpose of why you're two-handed in the first place. If you really want to gain the revs two-handed, you've got to get further under the ball, and that requires cupping it more. Now, a lot of two-handers, if you watch Simo, if you watch Chris Vi, several others, they're going to set up in a very flat position. Go ahead and set up without your thumb, flat position. All right, so wrist is in a very flat position right here. That's pretty typical. Now, but what they do is once they start going back, their wrist, boom, the ball starts to get closer to their forearm here, and their wrist starts to cup a little bit. As long as you can get that motion, then a flat setup is completely fine. But there's a lot of people that can't figure that timing out, and they end up scooping it, like I said. So what we're suggesting is that you actually get into a stronger cup position, almost resting that ball on your forearm. You don't have to actually have it on your forearm, but getting into that strong position. One of the things we used to do when we were kids is we would bowl one-handed, but without our thumb. Now, in order to do that, you have to cup your wrist a lot. You have to cradle it in that pocket there, or you're gonna lose the ball. So this is much like what Tom Doherty does when he bowls. If you watch Tom Doherty, he is very cupped here, starts right here, and he is cradled the whole way. Now, you can't have a super high backswing, but this is something you can do to start out. So if you want to start out just at the line, like you're going to do a no-step drill, and you're going to cradle that one-handed, and it's going to be really short. It's not going to be a high backswing, really short. Just practice what that feels like. You can even swing it a couple times back and forth to get used to the feel, and then roll it. That's what we're trying to accomplish when we are creating that position. So that, starting in that strong setup position from the very beginning, is a good way to get you into that position from the very beginning and allow you to crank it. Now, that takes us to item number 2, which we move into, which is what to do with the offhand then. So if we're going to be two-handed, what are we doing? In a one-handed setup, we saw Troy's hand was here, okay? But now in a two-handed, we want to be a little bit higher. We want these fingers, go ahead and face the camera if you could. We want our fingers to almost be pointing at each other, okay? So we want that hand to be in this position. The purpose, go ahead and go profile again. The purpose is that without his other hand, when he cradles it, he can only go to about here and he's done. With his other hand holding it, he can now bring it back further and higher and get more power on the ball. That's the purpose of the other hand. You're not actually using the hand to spin it or do anything else that's actually an illegal throw. You can't use it to do that. as you're coming through, your other hand's gonna come off and you're gonna roll it just like the one-hander with no thumb, but this allows you to get higher. The reason we want that hand up is because we need to be able to get into that cradle position like you're rocking a baby. Now that takes us straight to item number 3, which is going to be the purpose of the elbow, or where we want this off elbow to be. Most people set up pretty normal. If you watch Simo and Chris Vai and all of the other two-handers, they're in a pretty normal setup, but once they start going, they get into a nice cradle position. However, what we see a lot of beginner bowlers do is they don't get that elbow out and they end up going around their body. So behind them and around. And when they do that,
twist everything too.
Yeah, they twist, they chicken wing, they pull it, they lose it out to the right. They're not creating that straight cradle motion going to the target. So as a beginner, and this isn't what I would suggest you're gonna do long term, but to start out is to get your fingers in the right position. Now get the elbow up as high as you can, pointed toward your target. And as you do your push away, you're actually gonna be thinking about getting your elbow to the target, all the way back and all the way forward, and keeping that motion. So that is tip number 3. Tip number 4 is gonna be the steps, but before we get to the steps, let's go up to a no-step approach and go up there and just show when your hand is here, in a strong position, fingers up, elbow out, and get used to that cradle and rolling the ball off your hand. Boom, just like that. So you're gonna do this over and over again. You're gonna get used to how that feels, okay? It's great to start with a no-step drill. We preach the no-step and the one-step and all that all the time. So it is good to practice what your hand and your elbow are doing in this position and rolling that ball. Now you might see that the ball is rolling end over end when you do that because your hands are flat and you're coming through flat. And if that's the case, you can make a minor tweak. So when he got onto his normal setup position, we saw that his fingers were here and his other hand was here. Now what he can do is he can actually turn his hand into a more solid position, but we still want the offhand to be over here. So now it's almost as though you're going your index finger on your offhand to your thumb, your pinky to your other finger. You're almost in this position, in the direction of where you're at, right? So something along those lines. Now his hand is in a more angled position or strong cocked position so that he is still gonna go forward with this elbow. So this hand is guiding, this hand's turned. When he does that and he comes through in a straight motion and he lets go with his hand, the motion, the ball swing is going forward, but his hand is pointing to the side. So the ball will go forward, but will rotate with that little bit of axis rotation. Now he's gonna turn his hand into a stronger position with his offhand straight. So he's still gonna get his elbow up, pointed towards target. And as he swings back, let's watch the rotation of the ball. Way more rotation on the ball. You can see that hooked all the way past the head pin. Now obviously he doesn't have speed on it because he's got no steps in this drill. That's totally fine, but you can see how that minor change is going to impact the rotation of the ball. So item number 4 we're going to talk about has to do with the steps. So when it comes to the steps, we do a whole series on your step cadence, and I'm going to just do a 4-step drill, and again I count backwards. In a 4-step drill with a typical one-handed bowler, if you're right-handed, you're going to push away with your right foot. So you're going 4, 3, 2, 1. As a two-hander, you can have a similar cadence. So if your hand is here, okay, you can still push away on 4 and you can go 4, 3, 2, 1 and throw the ball. I took normal steps. That last one, or that second to last one, is a little bit shorter. People like Chris Vai take normal steps, but you will see a lot of two-handers who take a stutter step. So what they will do is they're going 4, 3, 2, 1. And so that hop step, they have to do that because as a one-hander, you can be more square. I can be right here and still have a decent backswing. Now I can also open my swing up a lot and open my shoulders, but I can be here, still have a decent amount of backswing. As a two-hander, with my shoulders closed, I'm here. That ball's at my hip. I can't get any further up than that. I'm basically taking what would be a 90-degree or parallel to the floor swing, and now I'm bringing it right here. This is where I'm at. So this is not a lot of motion. So in order to get that higher, you got to open your shoulders. So now we're taking what would be a high backswing and bringing it here. As a two-hander, you're getting here. This is how you can get more power. If you open your shoulders that far in order to do that, very hard to be opening the shoulders and still take a full step. I mean, this actually kind of twists my hips in a way that I can't really do. So that's why you get to here and you hop, step, and go. So the hop step is something I think is very advantageous. But how do you get used to that as you start? You've been bowling as a one-hander and you're used to doing this. Now you put the ball in your hand and you're probably going to be very square and you're going to end up throwing it way to the left. So how do we open ourselves up and get used to that? We go back to our lesson we did a while ago, which is reversing the cadence. And you're starting with the no step like Troy did. Okay. Then we're going into a one step. Step into it. Get used to that. Step into it. And you're going to wait until that ball gets to the peak. Shoulders open. Ball gets up here. And then step and go. Once you got that, we're going to come back here. Okay, now we're going to take two steps. And if you want a hop step, it's all about going, when you start here, right as you get ready to cross about right here, you're going to start that hop and get it up here. So you're going to go hop and go. So this is how you can get used to it. Start right here, put your left foot out, start in your position, start, go hop and go. When you've got that down, you bring in the next step. So you come back here, so you're here, you're pushing away, you're not starting your motion yet because you push away when that foot lands is when you start your next step. So then you're going go, hop, go. And then you reverse it from there. One more, you come back to this. So you're here, you're used to this, this, and that. Try it without a ball several times as well. That can also be very helpful to get used to this motion. If you're a five-step, you're just adding in one additional step. So as a five-stepper, you're going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. These approaches are very tacky. So unfortunately, we're not sliding very much, but we're going to see what Troy can do. Now he's going to wait until that ball gets to the peak of his backswing before he takes that step. Oh. Got the one step down. Hey, we're going to pretend he did it over and over again. Now he's going to go into the hop step. I have definitely more of a hop. And I am actually going to spread my feet a little bit further. And then right when I get to this point is when I'm going to start the hop. So I'm going to push, and then hop when I get to that point. Hop and go. So I'm going with my right foot forward as if I already took my first step. So I would normally start here. And so this is my first step. So I'm already going to start as if I already did this. So I'm waiting until I get the push away. Push away. And if you've got that down, then you go to the full four step. So I'm starting from my position. I'm starting with my hand into a strong position, hand up top, kind of aiming in this area, and then I'm getting that elbow out in front of me. So strong position, elbow out, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're like, I didn't quite get it, get to here, okay? 4, 3, 2, 1. Hopped because I couldn't slide. And if you find that you're way back here, away from the foul line when you're done, move up on the approach. Typically, two-handed approaches don't take up as much of the lane. You don't see two-handers typically starting at the very back of the approach. Not to say that none of them do, but many of them are shorter approaches. So staggered feet, strong position, hand up top, elbow in front. 4, 3, 2, 1. Anyways, that's some of the basic tips. Neither of us are natural two-handers, so it's probably not the smoothest thing in the world, but it gives you an idea of things that you can try. Remember, step 1, getting into a strong position. Step 2, getting your other offhand up on top, and if you need to get that other hand here, that's fine. Up top. Step 3, get the elbow out. Make sure you're cradling. Step 4, figure out what you want to do with your step if you're hop stepping. And then just work on those things over and over. I would start with number 1, cradle, strong position when you start. Do the one-hander without the thumb, real short backswing, and do the Tom Doherty. When you've got that, take step 2, put your hand on the ball. Don't worry about the off elbow yet. Just get used to getting it a little bit higher in the backswing, up, and go. 3, now you're getting the elbow out in front. Now you're working on the cradle. Cradle it, and go. 1 step or no step. Then bring in the steps. So that's two-handed basics for beginners in a nutshell. Again, this is not the hard and fast rule. I know there will people that will be saying, no, you don't do this when you start or whatever. That's fine. These are things you can try. If you are struggling and you're scooping the ball or you're coming around and chicken winging or doing different things when you try two-handed, these are things to try. Just try them out, see if they work for you. If they don't work for you, then you try something else. But give them a try and see if they help.
Yeah, absolutely. There's like a textbook. The textbook is your guide on how to go from one spot to another. There's no one solid, specific way to do it. You've all seen bowlers, nobody looks the same. Not one of them.
Even with the two-handers.
Yeah.
I mean, Simo looks different than Chris Fye, who looks different than Packy, who looks different than Jesper, who looks different than... You watch somebody like Cameron Crowe, and his swing, he actually kind of comes out and then around. He's not doing the cradle. He's doing something very different. All those guys did what was right for them, and they honed in and really worked on their craft and got it down, and that's fine. But again, this is for those of you that are struggling. They can't even get to the first point that you need to get to. Try these things out. Tweak them if you need to, but try these out and see if they help.
One thing I'm sure that they all did is they all started at the very beginning with no step, trying to figure that out.
Yes,
So
very important. So anyways, hit the like button,
hit the subscribe,
comment,
share,
and we'll see you guys at the next video.
Spare time. Love you guys, man. Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys hosting us.
Yes, thanks for watching.
Love you guys. Bye.